kill them without empathy, man, or consideration. To slay us. Go ahead. And hold themselves not guilty. And hold themselves not guilty, like this piece of garbage right
What's the agenda? You niggas cowards and pretenders. White flag to the white man, you surrender. Just remember, wicked niggas love to hang with sinners. Shit is disgusting to think it's cool to switch genders. Bruce Jenner. Babylon is falling and one West is prevalent. Boots, lace, warbands on, we in our element. It's evident they killing how they evident. Coward murderers, I pray the Lord send a pestilence and cause famine. Wreak havoc and cause damage. Coronavirus shook up the earth, and I watch them all panic. Fighting through these curses that we live in. Prepare slaughter, complete the order when it's given. These crackers crumble, we humble their activity. For it is written that they shall go into captivity. These devils must pay for their war crimes. Sell your garments and go and get a sword when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Girt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Girt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime.
Your music can be stopped by a gun. They'll call a gun to come and kill you over your music. That's the world that you living in, man.
Con out of one con when it's wartime. Can't be lukewarm, gotta make up your mind. If you ain't heard nothing, you better hear this rhyme. When it go down, you gon' have to be with your kind. Ain't no laughing, ain't no joking on the battlefield. If you don't follow the order, you could get us all killed. Ain't no thing to grab the block and burst and squeeze mine. You gon' learn to do it, not the second, but the first time. 223, 308, AR-15 rifle. Warring with the dragon like I'm the Archangel Michael. I got hand grenades, I pull the pin and throw it at you quicker. I can say a prayer and send them evil curses, now you sick. If we do what the Lord tell us to do, Babylon will fall. I'm gon' do what Saul didn't do and I'm gon' kill them all. It's time to kill, not heal, it's time to break them down, know who you are. Ain't no time to love, it's time to hate these heathens, time for war.
Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Girt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Girt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Girt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Girt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime.
Even though you in the ghetto, even though you poor, even though you suffering, even though you ain't had a good education, even though you got the weight of the most powerful empire in the world on your neck, God is going to come and stop every bit of it. He's going to shut it down.
Shalom, Israel, with Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Today is the Sunday Scripture Breakdown class in Houston, Texas. We're coming in, doing what we do every week. Once again, your Christian church is closed, but the Isupk is open. Because we don't stop 7 days a week teaching our people the truth, trying to get them out of hell, raise them out of this condition that we're living in. This week, I want to talk about the truth about sports and entertainment, to give you a kind of a background or a blueprint to kind of help you see why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans care about sports more than any other race. When you look at the other nations, you don't see Arabs focused on helping their children get in some type of summer camp or a league so that they can be the next, baseball player, soccer player, or basketball player, or football player. You don't see that with Chinese people. You don't see that with no one but our people. And you got to understand how deep and how far it goes back. They've been using these tactics since the Philistines, since before Greece, before Rome, and it's in the Bible and it's noted. And like people always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if it worked back then, it's most definitely going to work now because they got the proof in the records that it worked then and how lucrative it was. So that's why America is Mystery Babylon, because America takes all of the philosophies and all of the tactics that all of the empires before them used. And now they put all of those things together in a pie together, and that makes America. And that's why we are so destroyed. That's why this slavery is the worst, because they got the tactics from Egypt, from Assyria, from Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, and now all together into a pie called America. All right? So we're going to get into that. If anybody got any questions, type them in. The first thing that I want to go into, I went into this last week in Austin, but I want to use this because you got to understand that life is about war, right? And if life is about war, then you got to understand why it's so important that we fight. Because the Lord is a man of war, meaning we are children of war. And we don't understand how much of that is in our DNA and how embedded it is in our spirit and how much it should be embedded in our spirit. And the spirit that we have that is of war, we use it the wrong way. We use it against each other instead of the way the Lord gave us to use it against our enemies. So what we have to do is learn how to turn it back around to put that spirit in the right spirit, in the right order. You know what I'm saying? Give me Exodus 12 and 41. This will help you understand just the thing that our oppressor don't want us to see. This is something that we overlook all the time when it comes to our nation. Read that.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 41. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self-same day, it came to pass that all the host of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
All of the what?
All of the host of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
Somebody tell me what's a host. How about that?
Army, sir.
It's an army, right? So all of the host of the Lord went out of the land of Egypt. Who was in the land of Egypt?
You asking me, sir?
Yeah.
The blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans.
Which is called?
Israelites.
The nation of Israel. Our nation, our family, is a family of warriors. Our entire family is an army. Read that again.
Verse 41. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the host of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
Now, what you got to understand is you are a family of warriors. And the spirit that we have to fight is because that spirit of war is in you. The spirit we have to defend, to stand up for something, to make sure that everybody good around us is because our men are naturally fighters. We are naturally warriors. The problem is we are taught a perverted way of warfare. You see what I'm saying? Read verse 51.
Verse 51. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies.
By their what?
By their armies.
The Lord brought the children of Israel out by their armies. So that means the men were in the front. And we left out to protect our people while we were leaving in the wilderness. And after that, in order for us to get our land, what do we have to do? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, go to war.
We had to go to war. So the first thing that you got to understand, that if you want peace, war has to come first. There is no peace without war. And your Christian pastor wants you to believe that Christ is about peace. Christ is about love. Christ is about unity. When the very people they're trying to unify with is the very people we should be warring against. If we saw the other nations as our enemy, then we wouldn't listen to anything that they say. Because you don't listen to your enemies or take advice from your enemies. If you see somebody as your enemy, no matter what they tell you, you're not going to listen to it. Be like, man, I've been having a bad headache, man. Man, that could be your blood pressure. Man, I ain't trying to hear that from you. I don't believe it's, now if somebody else can say it that I would love, then it may be my blood pressure. But coming from you, I ain't trying to hear it. You see what I'm saying? If we saw them that way, then we wouldn't do nothing they do. We wouldn't live like they live. We wouldn't act like they act. The first thing we have to get in our mind that we are a nation of warriors. We are an army. In our just being Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. When they see 12 of us standing on the street, we are a threat. We are a gang because we are naturally fighters. When a white man sees 4 black men standing in the street, what is the thing he thinks is going to happen to him? He going to get robbed, right? You see 4 white boys standing in the street, what you think? Go ahead.
I can beat all 4 of them up.
You see that? I'll beat all 4 of them up. If I was still in the world, I'll rob them. That's a lick right there. That's about $10,000 standing on that corner. You see what I'm saying? In your mind, you are naturally, your mind naturally works like warfare all day. Anywhere you go. That's why you don't that's why white people walk around smiling and happy. And hey man, what's going on? Hey man, it's good to see you. Black people, we good, we chilling. But when you see us, we mugging. Because we don't want you to even think it's nothing sweet over here. I don't care if this is the best day of our life, we're going to look like this. You know why? Because warfare is on our mind all day. Because we are men and women of war. Even our women. Your wife is a warrior. You know that. Because she done slapped you a couple of times. You see what I'm saying? Because that is what's naturally in our spirit. And that spirit needs to be taken out of our women and put into our men. Right now, our women are fighting harder than the men are in the world. All the activists, all the marchers, all the people that's leading the protest, the Black Lives Matter movement started by women. You see what I'm saying? When you see the Black Panthers, it's a woman that's getting up on the mic speaking for the Black Panthers. Women are fighting and men are praying. It used to be where men only went to church for the women. Now, men are going to church and the women are, leading the service and the women are teaching the men. Everything has been flipped upside down. So the UPK is here to put it back in order. You understand? And another thing about warfare is warfare has tactics. Warfare is not go right in and just bomb and shoot. That's not warfare. Warfare is sometimes you got to put some things in place, some people in place. So when it's time to go, you got everything set up. You see what I'm saying? That's what they've done to our people. And they used sports and entertainment as a tool of war. That's what they used. They used that just like they use homosexuality, just like they use drugs, just like they use guns. They use all these different tools to be tools to destroy our nation in this war that we're fighting against them. Now, when you talk to a Black, Hispanic, and Native American about war, what do they think? What do they think about war? If you say, man, we got to get ready, it's time to go to war, what is the first thing they're going to say?
They want to get the guns.
We're going to get guns, but what? Okay, let's say you in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and you saying, man, it's time for us to, get ready for war because it's about to go down. What are they going to say? I'm going to tell you. They're going to say, well, we need to pray because this is a time for peace. This is a time for, people in the world, they Christians. And they're going to say it's a time for love and peace and happiness and joy, right? Give me 1 second. Give me Deuteronomy 1:15. The first thing that a nation has to have when they get ready to go to war is structure. You have to have order. You can't go to war, even in a gang. In the gang in the street, you got people that's at the top. You got the OGs. Now you got the triple OGs. Now break it down for me, Habana. You give me the breakdown of the ranking structure.
All right, so like if I could, sir, well, we ain't had no triple OGs, but we did have the OG.
OG.
And then under the OG was like the lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
Then you got the captain.
Captain.
Sergeant. And then you got the, that's the niggas that's going to carry.
And then you got the foot soldiers. Right. That's in the world. So you mean to tell me in the world when niggas rob and kill, they got rank and structure in order. But for us, we can't have that? That's wrong that we have structure. When you go to work, you got rank and order. The cashiers is right above the janitors, right? But above that is, the managers or the people that's in the back doing the stocking. Then the managers, the shift manager, the general manager, all of this, that's rank, order, and structure. Read what you got.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 15. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men.
Stop. The chief of your tribes are the what men?
Wise men.
Go ahead.
And known. And made them heads over you.
Let me tell you, in the Isupk, you looking at the chief of your tribes. You looking at the men that the Lord chose to be the protectors of your nation. That's going to speak up for injustice. Al Sharpton is not a chief of our tribe. That's right. He is not going to speak up for injustice unless you're paying him. You see what I'm saying? Your Christian pastor is not a chief, but the men in the Isupk, we are. We're going to speak up for all the stuff that happened wrong to our people. We're going to tell the drug dealer to stop selling drugs. We're going to tell the hoe to stop selling a body. We're going to tell the pimp to stop pimping out our sisters. We're going to tell everybody, we're going to tell Granny to stop making pork. You see what I'm saying? Whatever we see that's wrong, we're going to police it. And in order for us to do that, we got to have structure. So keep reading.
Come. Captains over thousands. And captains over hundreds.
Go ahead.
And captains over 50s. And captains over 10s.
Right.
And officers among your tribes.
This is what you need to get things in order, to get ready for war. Right? Now, look up bread and circuses. Google it. Bread and circus. And let me show you the tactic that the white man has used. Go ahead. When you get it.
You want me to go to the Wikipedia?
That's fine.
Okay, Khan. It says, this is Wikipedia from Google.
Matter of fact, read the definition first.
Khan.
The definition and then read the Wikipedia.
Khan. It says, bread and circuses, this is the Google definition. A diet of entertainment.
Stop right there. It's a what?
A diet of entertainment.
And what?
Or political policies on which the masses are fed to keep them happy and docile.
To keep them what?
Happy and docile.
Politics and entertainment go together. You see that? Like, you have to be entertained so you won't pay attention to the politics. Because when you are looking at the presidential candidates, you are really not. What's Donald Trump's policies that he gonna bring? I know you don't know. What's Biden's policies that he said he gonna bring to the table? You don't know. Who won the game last night? Go ahead.
Salaki, I know the Clippers lost. I forgot who they played.
Okay, who else? Who else won last night? Night before last.
Rockets.
You see that? You know that off the hip. You see what I'm saying? Like, he know the dates, and it wasn't last night. It was night before last. The Rockets won, then the Clippers, and then you see what I'm saying? Right. You are not worried about politics. Now, in a few days, we gonna either get a new president or keep the same president. You're not worried about that. But the Rockets did win the other day. You see that? The world is shut down. But you know what they had to open up? They had to open up something for you to stay docile. They had to open up the NBA. Ain't nobody even in the crowd. They got screens in the crowd of people sitting there watching the thing to keep you docile. Go ahead, Art.
What they do is for people that want to feel like they actually at the game,
Mm-hmm.
they make them pay to virtually be at the game.
Good night. So they getting real money for virtual. So they paying to watch TV. They paying to have their face in the background. The white man is the devil. Now, if you don't believe he the devil, I mean, goddamn. What else can we say? Now, they are keeping you docile, right? Now read the Wikipedia.
Khan. Bread and circuses, or bread and games, from Latin, panem et circenses.
Yeah, keep going.
Is a metonymic phrase referring to superficial appeasement.
Go ahead.
It is attributed to Juvenal, a Roman poet active in the late 1st and early 2nd century AD, and is used commonly in cultural, particularly political contexts.
Now, this normally has something to do when things of politics is going on. All right? Now, keep reading.
Khan. In a political context, the phrase means to generate public approval, not by excellence in public service or public policy, but by diversion.
Stop. Read that again.
Khan. In a political context, the phrase means to generate public approval.
So, in a political context, it is something that you do to get public approval. But keep reading.
Khan. Not by excellence in public service.
But not by them actually doing anything in the community to help the people. You are getting public. So Joe Biden says, I want to be the president, right? And he goes to your church and takes pictures with your pastor and the church. He did nothing for the church. He did nothing for the community. But the people in the church feel like he did something because he came. So now he got their vote. Not by being excellent. Read that. Not by what?
Not by excellence in public service.
Not by his excellent service or what?
Or public policy.
Not by his work or the policies that he say he's going to bring. That's not what he's getting this pat on the back from or the I'm going to vote for you. He's not getting it by doing anything. He's getting it by what?
But by diversion, distraction, or by satisfying the most immediate or base requirements of a populace.
But by distracting you. Do you hear that? Your politicians cannot get in office unless you are distracted. By diversion or what? What is it? By diversion or what?
By diversion, distraction, or by satisfying the most immediate or base requirements of a populace.
Do you see that? Do you see how evil this is? Keep reading.
Khan. By offering a palliative, for example, food or entertainment.
This is how they get you. Cheap food and entertainment. This is all you care about. This is what slaves live for. Slaves live for cheap food and fun. That's it. You just live to have fun and to, eat some good food for the low. And by doing that, you forget to vote. You don't care who you vote for. You just vote for anybody. Who provided this food? Donald Trump? He got my vote. He got my vote because that brisket, boy, I tell you. Whoa, that brisket was good. You see what I'm saying? That's a slave mentality. Go ahead.
If I could, sir, you could even incorporate the stimulus package or anything that they give us in a pandemic, quote unquote, because we need food, we need those things. So, hey, man, he provided that with us. In fact, he even made sure he had his name stamped on the checks that he had to provide. He wanted to let it be known to the people.
It was
that
me.
He did it.
Right. You know what this is also? This is dog whistle politics. This is another term in dog whistle politics. Dog whistle politics is, a dog whistle is only something that dogs can hear. So, like when they use terms like law and order to white people, that's letting you know that the police are going to start going harder in the black communities. When they use things like black queen or welfare queen, it's letting you know we finna crack down on these welfare women and these people that's on these food stamps. We finna crack down on it. You know what I'm saying? They have a language that they speak. Well, bread and circuses is another form of dog whistle politics that they do use to keep you docile on what's really going on in your community and what's really going on in the world. All right? Keep reading.
Common Khan, sir. Juvenal, who originated the phrase.
It's Juvenal.
Juvenal, who originated the phrase, used it to decry the selfishness of common people and their neglect of wider concerns.
And then their what?
Their neglect of wider concerns.
You are not paying attention to what you should really be paying attention to. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are dying every day on the news. And you know what makes you forget about it so quick? Sports and entertainment and cheap food. Just a little break. Now, it's a picture of a if you back out of the Wikipedia, it's a picture of a white lady that looked like she holding up a mistletoe or something. Read that.
It says, the evil was not in bread and circuses per se, but in the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men for full bellies and the excitement of the games, which was served to distract them from the other human hungers which bread and circuses can never appease.
You see this? This is letting you know that you can't blame it on bread and circuses. It's your fault. You the one that's letting this distract you. And that's why we here. We here to make you aware that every time you see these sports and entertainment, it is only to distract you. You'll never see the owner of a team, you'll never see his son say, I want to grow up to be like LeBron James. The owner of the team, his son is not saying, I want to be a basketball player. The owner of the team's son is trying to own the team. Your child is the only one that's trying to make it out the hood playing sports because you are a slave. Without poverty, you wouldn't have any sports. Poverty makes you want to play sports. Poverty makes you want to beat your body up, beat your bones up, break your ACL, break your hip on the football field because you are poor. And whatever you got to do to get out the hood is what you're willing to do. So without poverty, you have no sports. Go ahead.
That's heavy how you coming down, sir. Cause I look at a lot of these young men that's playing sports now these days. You know what I'm saying, in the NBA, NFL. A lot of them have injuries that people that go to war don't get. Torn ACLs off the bone and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, broken ankles and all kind of stuff. You know, You know, because I don't think the human body is meant to, you know what I'm saying,
take all that trauma.
This, you know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly that. Without poverty, let me ask you something. You don't see rich kids trying to play sports. Because it don't make sense to try to beat my body up to make money, and I already made money. I already got money. But since you poor, what's the only way that we can get out the hood? Sports and music, which is what? Entertainment. Sports and music and selling drugs. That's the only ways out. So the only way you can get out is either destroying your body or destroying your people's body. So you're gonna have to be poor in order to even think about it. Go ahead, sis.
Okay, so in the kingdom, we not gonna play sports.
We not gonna play sports. Nuh-uh.
But you know, like
You know who gonna play sports?
The white people.
Everybody, because they gonna have to try to find a way to make it out.
Well, you know,
They gonna have to try to find a. Go ahead.
They like to run around and play sports.
Right.
They be having fun.
Right. You know what they would like to do more than anything is fight for their people if they had something to fight for. And now that we have gotten sports, it's simulated warfare. Instead of us learning how to war and fight and okay, let me tell you what sports is. It's versus the red versus the blue. When it would be us versus them in a war, in a fight. Right now with LeBron James and everybody, they were protesting to not play the game, right? And they took that step to say, you know what? We're not playing no more. We're not gonna play. After that, they didn't know what to do. They were stuck. They had to go and talk to Obama because they didn't know what the next step was because they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to war. The only war they know is shooting basketball, playing football, because they have been deterred, and they have been deterred from their real goal. The real goal of a man is to protect his people. That's the real goal of a man, not to play basketball. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we got to get back to. Our oppressors have made it to where the only way you can feel good about yourself is if you are doing something to entertain and please him. And that started with sellouts of our own nations. Because we're going to get into it. We're going to get all the way deep into it. Go ahead, Ak.
Salakia, sir, it was another quote I saw from Juvenile.
Read it.
He said, give them bread in circuses and they will never revolt.
See that? Read that again.
Kanawakan, sir. Give them bread and circuses and they will never revolt.
If you give them games and food, then they'll never fight back. They'll never revolt. So you know what they'll do? They'll just march. They'll march. They'll break a couple of windows, but they ain't going nowhere. They ain't going to do nothing real. They ain't going to stop selling drugs to each other. They ain't going to stop killing each other, but they will march. You see what I'm saying? Because of sports and entertainment. Go ahead,
Man, it's a lot. It's so heavy because that's like if you take a stray dog off the street and you give them food and water and a place to stay, but you beat on them, they not going nowhere. They may holler, but they ain't going nowhere because you took them from off the streets and you fed them and they got AC.
That's exactly what it is. It's like we're in a better predicament, even being slaves to them. That's how we thinking. That's how our people thinking. So we just like we might as well just stay here and take this beating.
Damn.
Go ahead.
That's basically how you get Stockholm syndrome.
Get the mic.
I said that's basically how you start Stockholm syndrome.
That's exactly what Stockholm syndrome come from. You understand? Just trying to make it, just trying to get along, go along to get along. And we dying. So now let me get now give me Roman Colosseum. Somebody else give me give me the Babylon of Timbuktu. Get the Babylon of Timbuktu. It should be in the book bag. Go ahead, read the Roman Colosseum. And give me the page when the Jewish estate, taken from the Jewish estate, give it to Habanah. You got Roman Colosseum?
Kanawakan, so I'm trying to.
All right, go ahead and read that.
Kanawakan.
Habanah, it should be like on page, there you go.
All right.
Read that.
Kanawakan, sir. Roman Colosseum, an ancient amphitheater in Rome begun by Vespasian, having the form of an oval Colosseum.
Go ahead.
Salakia.
Where you at?
Hold on, so I'm Salaki, sir. It's not giving out any really thing more than that. It's just saying an amphitheater built in Rome in the 1st century A.D.
Nah, it's a whole. I'm looking at the article. Go down. Go just you go to Wikipedia. It's on Wikipedia.
Oh, Salaki, sir.
Yeah, click that.
All right, 1 second.
This is knowledge that anybody can look up. One thing about it is it ain't hiding from you. You just ain't looking for it. Go ahead, read that.
All right. Salakia. So it says the Colosseum, or Colosseum, also known as the Flavian Amphitheater, is an oval amphitheater in the center of the city of Rome, Italy, built of travertine limestone.
Stop. Where is this built at?
In Rome, Italy.
In where?
In Rome, Italy.
No, go back in what part of the city?
Oh, Salakia, in the center of the city.
In the center of the city. Now we finna bring it full circle. Keep reading.
Kana Wakan, sir. Built of travertine limestone and tough volcanic rock and brick-faced concrete.
Go ahead.
It was the largest amphitheater ever built at the time and held 50,000 to 80,000 spectators.
So stop. Do you know who was in those Colosseums?
The Salaki, sir, the Romans?
No. Do you know who was the entertainment in those Colosseums? Go ahead.
It was Israel being put to death and also in gladiatorial games. So.
That's exactly right. We was in there dying, fighting tigers and bears and lions and being executed for entertainment. Keep reading.
Kana Wakan, sir. The Colosseum is just east of the Roman Forum.
Go ahead.
Construction began under the Emperor Vespasian in 72 AD and was completed in 80 AD under his successor and heir, Titus.
Do you got that in Babylon Timbuktu? Give me that. Give it to me. It should be like at page 86 or something like that. Here you go, Art. Here you go. 84. Oh, yeah, give me that. All right, read that.
Khan, this is Babylon and Timbuktu, page 84. It says, throughout the last 2,500 years, the main factors that have contributed
Just read the highlighted part.
That's what I'm reading, sir. Salaki.
Okay.
It says, throughout the last 2,500 years, the main factors that have contributed to the social migration of the Jews were wars, religious persecution, and commerce. All these factors were operating and gave rise to the African Jewish population.
Let me see that real fast, because I don't even think that's what you must be on the wrong page.
I'm on 84, sir.
Start at in year 65 BC.
It says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, the General Vespasian and his
General
son,
who?
Vespasian
Uh-huh.
and his son, Titus, put
Who?
Titus.
Okay, stop right there. Go back to your seat. Give that brother the mic again and read that part again.
The Colosseum, Salaki, the Colosseum is just east of the Roman Forum. Construction began under the Emperor Vespasian in 72 AD.
Keep going.
And was completed in 80 AD by his successor and heir, Titus.
Now, go back to the Babylon and finish read it again. I just want you to see this is your history. They're talking about you. Keep going.
I started in 70 AD. General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter.
Keep going.
Khan. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
Go ahead.
During the period from Pompey to Julius, it had been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery.
And what?
And slavery.
Keep going.
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
What market?
The slave markets.
Was full of what?
Full of black Jewish slaves.
Black Jewish slaves. Guess where those slaves went? Those slaves that they had that were being slaughtered, guess where they were being slaughtered at?
They were sent to Rome to build the Colosseum, sir.
Right. They was the ones being slaughtered in those Colosseums through entertainment for white people. They were sitting in the stadiums with 80,000. Guess what? The Toyota Center don't hold 80,000 people. They 60 to 80,000 people sitting up watching our ancestors die and be killed. And now you do it now. You just do it on a smaller level. You're not watching them die right then, but you're watching them break. You watching them break down over the years. You watching their ACL and their knee go out. You watching they break their ankle. They throw their hip out. You watching them get paralyzed when they breaking their spine. You watching all this stuff happen over a time period. It's the same thing, and they've been doing it since. That's just 70 AD. Go ahead, Doc.
Salakia, sir. I just wanted to say that the white man is the devil.
That's right.
Because there was a show that I used to watch, like it came out like maybe 5 years ago. It was called Spartacus.
Oh yeah,
and it was heavy about what you bringing out because I didn't notice what you bringing out. I had no idea about this. In that show, they took who was us and made them white, like these champions, these gladiators, these warriors
right.
that was doing all these extraordinary, feats and all that. But they made them white. And it was our people. And at the end of the show, they put them on crosses.
Right.
Like they hung them. And I'm like, and now to read this, I'm like, he's such a devil. He even takes the people that he oppresses and who do great things or exploits in their oppression and makes them white too.
Right.
That's just heavy.
That's right. Keep reading. Drop down to the go under there. The Colosseum could hold an estimated. Keep scrolling down.
Khan, sir. Read from that point?
Read from that point.
Khan, sir. The Colosseum could hold an estimated 50,000 to 80,000 spectators at various points of its history over the centuries.
Go ahead.
Having an average audience of some 65,000.
Mm-hmm.
It was used for gladiatorial contests.
For what?
For gladiatorial contests.
Go ahead.
And public spectacles such as mock sea battles for only a short time, as the hypogeum was soon filled with mechanisms to support the other activities.
So you know how they'll use the stadium for basketball, then they'll use it for hockey, then they'll use it for whatever. You know, they switch the stadium up for anything. This is where they get it from.
Good night.
You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Animal hunts, executions, reenactments of famous battles, and dramas based on Roman mythology.
Go ahead.
The building ceased to be used for entertainment in the early medieval era. It was later reused for such purposes as housing, workshops, quarters for a religious order.
For a what?
For a religious order.
Y'all know what the Compact Center used to be, right? It used to be called the Compact Center. Now it's called Lakewood Church.
Good night.
The Rockets won 2 championships in Lakewood Church. It used to be a stadium, but now it's a religious civilization. You can go in and sing and praise the Lord at. Go ahead, Lamia.
It was Salakia, sir. It was called the Summit when the Rockets.
Salakia. It was the Summit. Yeah, give him a hand. It was the Summit, Salakia. But that's what it was. It used to be the Summit, but now it's a church. There is nothing new under the sun. Go ahead, Ak.
Salakia, if I may, sir, I just had a question.
Go ahead.
I noticed that he said the Colosseum stopped being used for that in the medieval times. Wasn't the medieval times when black people were in rulership?
That's the point. The point of it was they stopped using it for that because they stopped ruling. When guess what? When the white man stopped ruling, then we start using it for housing. Read that part again.
Wow, this is heavy. Salaki, sir. It was later reused for such purposes as housing, workshops, and quarters for a religious order.
Mm-hmm. For what? Keep reading.
A fortress.
For fortress. For protection. You see, the scriptures say when the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. When the white man has rulership, he use it for killing and games and entertainment. And you fighting lions and tigers and bears and being ripped up. But when we use it to bring the homeless off the streets. We use it to teach people the truth for religious reasons. When we use it for a reason that can benefit the people. But when they do it, they doing it for fun and games. Because the white man is the devil. And you need to know that the same tactics he used now is what he's using then, is what he used back then. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. Although substantially ruined because of earthquakes.
Okay, that's all I needed on that. You see what I'm saying? So now let's get into the scriptures.
So, like, while you find your scriptures, sir,
go ahead.
If I could, that's why every single church, every single stadium, every single building occupied by a heathen should relinquish their keys to the Isupk and the Commander General Hunter, so that we can turn those evil places into a fortress and, to feed our people and teach our people.
Give them a hand. Because that's the whole point of this class. The whole point of this class is we trying to get the keys to them buildings because there are about to be new rulers. The white man is about to lose his rulership. And we are going to use all of those things to help our people. And that's what we out here teaching about. Give me the book of let's start at Judges 16 and 25.
Khan, this is the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 25. And it came to pass when their hearts were merry.
Now, this is Samson. Samson was a champion for our people. He was a fighter. And when they got drunk, and when they got full of that liquor, what did they do? Keep reading.
Khan, that they said, call for Samson, that he may make us sport.
That he may do what?
Make us sport.
What does that mean?
Entertain us.
Call for Samson so he can entertain us. Call that nigga from out the dungeon. So now it's time for some fun and games. Keep reading.
And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport.
Let me tell you something. You are in the prison houses right now. Samson was in his lowest state. They cut his hair. They plucked his eyes out. They burned his eyes out and all that. And he couldn't see. He couldn't fight back. He couldn't do nothing. And that's you. You don't have no way to see. You don't have nobody to help you fight. You are sport for America. That's why LeBron James and them didn't know what the hell to do when they started boycotting. They was like, what's next? We boycott, we took a stand. All right, now what? The only counsel they can get is from an African. They had to go to Obama and say, Salakia, if I may, could you give us, the next move? Because they couldn't go to Jesse Jackson. They couldn't go to they don't even trust their religious leaders enough to even go and talk to them. Because they know that they ain't no good. That's why the Isupk is so important. Because if we would have gave them consultation, we would have helped, man, oh my God. If they would have talked to Commander General Hunter on what to do next, he would have said, quit. Leave the NBA and start the NBA. The Nigga Basketball Association. That's what he would have said. And y'all gonna make money, and every player is an owner. Your payment will be a share of that could be passed down from generation to generation. So as much as this makes, and as much as people come in and keep making money, those people that come in are going to have stock in this for the rest of their life, and they're going to always make money. And it's a never-ending business. That's what he would have said. He wouldn't have kept them tied to their oppressor. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading, Doc.
Khan. And they set him between the pillars. And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, Suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth,
Go ahead.
that I may lean upon them. Verse 27. Now the house was full of men and women. And all the lords of the Philistines.
All the what?
All the lords of the Philistines.
Who
were
was
there.
in the games watching them?
All the lords of the Philistines.
The rich people. That's what it is. It's the rich and the poor. Poor people are rich people's entertainment. I remember when I was young, we growing up in the hood, we used to take crackheads and make them do all kind of stuff. Just because we was a little better off than them, we would make them do whatever we wanted them to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had one crackhead, we was like, hey, go wrap yourself around that pole. And he would run up to the pole and wrap his body around it. And we would laugh, and it was our sport and entertainment. That we got that spirit from the white man, because that's how the white man do us. Hey, boy, go up there and jump and touch that rim. Hey, run it. See how fast you can run that ball. How fast let me time you and see how fast you can get from here to there.
Damn. That's a lot.
Go ahead.
That's the combine.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
Jump up there and touch that. Let me see how high you can jump. So my nigga can jump 46 inches. So my nigga can jump 44 inches. Yeah, man, I got him on this training plan to get him right. I got his calves right. See what I'm saying? Because you still a slave. You are still in slavery. Keep reading.
Damn, Khan, sir. And all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women.
See that? This is a stadium before the Colosseum. And this one is a stadium the Africans had, the Philistines. And there's about 3,000 men and women in there. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
Khan, that beheld while Samson made sport.
Keep reading.
Verse 28. And Samson called unto the Lord and said, O Lord power, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee. Only this once, O power, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes.
What was Samson asking for because they took his eyes out? Go ahead, sis.
He was asking for his strength again one last time,
For what?
so he could kill him.
So he can love them? So he can pass, so he could turn the other cheek? So he could pray for them and lay hands on them and anoint them with the holy oils from heaven? So he could sprinkle the holy waters from the pool of Bethesda?
Lie, sir.
What was he asking the Lord to do?
So he could kill him.
Lord, give me my strength so I can kill these stinking Africans.
Right.
That's the spirit you're supposed to be in. You're supposed to be using your strength against them. The Lord didn't give you this talent to use for them. That's not for them. It's for you to make profit. Give me Baruch 4. Baruch 4 and 2.
Khan is the book of Baruch in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. Give not thine honor to another.
Give not what?
Give not thine honor to another.
Don't give your, keep reading.
Khan. Nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
What's profitable to you? Your talents, how fast you run. Everything that you can do, that's profitable to you. The white man is making billions of dollars, and he couldn't pick up a basketball and throw it in the hoop from the free throw line. And he's making billions of dollars off of something that's profitable to you. Keep reading.
Khan. Verse 4. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to the power are made known to us.
This is what you should know. You should know that you should never, ever work for another nation with the gifts you have. you should have your own businesses so that you can make your own money so that you can be profitable to your own people. You see what I'm saying? That is what this is what we're trying to teach you. These gifts that our athletes have should be used for our nation. Like we should if we're going to have the Olympics, we should have the Israelites in the Olympics. Now, just imagine that. Imagine if Usain Bolt ran for Israel and the fastest runner from the U.S. and just imagine if the Olympic team because every Olympic team got a Israelite running from them. In every sport, you got an Israelite. Germany is an Israelite. It's a Mexican running for Germany. It's some heathen country that got you representing them so they can get a medal. Imagine if all them people was in Israel and we did the Olympics. They would be fighting for third place. Every nation would be like, okay, we know first and second going to Israel, so we're going to try to get this third place. That's what they would have to do. Because nobody would ever be able to defeat us. Because we would use what's profitable to us. And everybody would know that we are the best, not America or Germany or Jamaica. We would use it and you would know that the Lord did it. Because we would praise the Lord. We would thank the Lord because we would be in our right spirit. We would be following our culture, our laws, statutes, and commandments. We'll be doing everything and the Lord will get the credit. And then we'll show them that y'all can't mess with us. We'll have boxing, no sweat. We're boxing for Israel. The Israelites boxing team. You see what I'm saying? Like, it would be ridiculous. And it would be profitable to us. You holding this up for me? No sweat. Give me First Maccabees 1 and 10. Now let's get into what I wanted to talk about.
Colonel Khan, this is the book of First Maccabees in the Apocrypha, chapter 1, verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, a son of Antiochus the king,
right,
who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Okay, so this is after Alexander the Great died, and the Greek country was split into 4. And this is Antiochus Epiphanes. This is his part of it, the part that he ruled, right? Keep reading.
Colonel Khan, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
How does the Lord see people that try to join us to the heathen?
Wicked men.
Wicked men. Everybody that say, let's join everybody to the Lord, you are what?
Wicked men.
And what do you say that's wicked? Read.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Go ahead.
That are round about us.
Go ahead.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
That's what happened when we left Egypt. They was like, we was better off in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? We was better off because the Lord said in the scriptures that he put the other nations around us to try us, to see if we was going to stay with him and do what he say, or if we was going to look at them and listen to them and do what they say. And because we follow them, he lets them make sports out of us. He lets us be their entertainment. And that entertainment keeps us docile to what's really going on, and it keeps us in captivity. Keep reading.
Colonel Khan, verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Verse 13. The certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
What else? What did they do after that? They went to the king to get license to do what the white man do. Look, man, we want to go. We want to do whatever y'all doing. Now we looking at them. Then we coveting what they got. Now we want to join them. Keep reading.
Colonel Khan, verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise.
What did they do?
They built a place of exercise.
A place of exercise is also known as a what?
A gym.
As a gym. They built a gym. Keep reading.
At Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
So imagine in Jerusalem, you got a Greek gym in Jerusalem that's made after the fashion of the heathens. That's a spit in the face. Being that we are holy and we are separate and set apart people, you come and put a white man's limestone Colosseum in the middle of the Holy Land. Keep reading.
Con, verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised.
What did that mean? Did they grow the foreskin of their rods back?
Sir.
What does that mean? The Warrior.
Like if I may, sir, they basically no longer kept the law. They was the heathens.
They would start acting like the white man. They made them, give them a hand. They made themselves uncircumcised with their behavior. Keep reading.
Con, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
And was sold to do what?
Mischief.
What is the mischief they were sold to do? We talked about it all class.
Being sport. Oh, Salaka.
Yeah, too late. You already said it.
Salaka, sir.
Go ahead. What was it?
Being sport.
Being sport. Play games. Be like them. You see what I'm saying? White people always play games because they gay. And they play butt naked games, wrestling and, sword fighting with their rods. Go ahead.
Salakia, I just wanted to say that the origins of the word gymnasium breaks down to naked exercise.
I wasn't saying it for nothing. That's what they did. So imagine black men start to have naked exercise in Jerusalem. That's what they was doing. By the way of the heathens, they was happy. When we left the heathens, it's been hard for us, so we need to do what they doing. Ain't nothing wrong with a little wrestling butt naked. Little naked wrestling. See how stupid that sounds? It's funny to us. We laughing at it. But, wrestlers just put on drawers. Right. Boxers just started, basketball players was wearing Daisy Dukes when basketball first started. It's tennis, everything. Because track, you see what I'm saying? It's all gay and homosexual, and it all comes from the white man because it's their form of entertainment because they like to see you like that. They like to see you as a black man with your behind out. That's what this is. Keep reading.
Nice, sir.
Go ahead.
If I may, sir, that just took me like the Rock, Dwayne Johnson is the biggest actor in Hollywood because he was on that stage
because he was in drawers for so many years.
He was in them drawers for them years for them.
Yeah, no shirt and drawers. It got him to make all the movies. That's it. I'm just trying to show you how deep it go. And guess what? He went from one form of entertainment to the next form of entertainment to the next form of entertainment because that's all this is. And all he did was all made to keep you docile. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Like the fact that brother brought up Dwayne Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, I saw an article where he is now the owner of the NFX or XFL. So it's one of them arena football. Like, good night, sir.
All right. He had the right draws for the white man. His drawers said The Rock on the back, and the white man was happy. That's who you living under. Y'all laughing, but that man a rich man for wearing drawers and no shirts, and that is why black people sell out. Because they looked at other men, and they saw how they came up. So everybody looking like, man, I'm trying to come up like him. Man, since we started trying to go back to our culture, man, it ain't been profitable for us. So let's just go ahead and just imagine it was enough for them that agreed because they built a place of exercise. They built a whole gymnasium, a butt naked workout What is called butt naked what? Naked exercise. So niggas in there doing push-ups naked. Come on now. That is. Go ahead, Aron. Oh my God.
Around here always having no clothes on until the white man decided to grab his rod, and all of a sudden now he not with it.
The Rock paved the way for Terry Crews to get his rod grabbed by a white man. You know why you know why they thought it was okay to grab Terry Crews' rod? Because he played sports and he know how it goes. He know about how it is in the locker room. If you ever play sports with white people, white boys are gay. All that hitting you with the towel, you know, all that old stuff, you know what I'm saying? That old, like, that's why the black dudes be on this side of the locker room and the white dudes be on that side of the locker room. And we always made it clear, don't play with me like that. Like, I ain't with that. Y'all do all that ass slapping shit, Salakia. Y'all do all that over there. We just playing football over here. You know, we just changing clothes and taking showers over here. That stuff y'all do, like, we used to have to wait till they got out the shower. Like, we couldn't, like, when they go in the locker room first, we be like, okay, we got like 10 minutes. They gonna go in there and do all that, then we gonna come in while they dressing up to get out, and then we gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Because they just gay. Go ahead. Nah, you good. Go ahead.
Just a couple years ago, you know what I'm saying? I believe I was a trooper at the time. I seen what a general during the Commander Junior Hunter radio show where they brought out how Anthony Davis, when he was in college, they had him in the locker room all butt naked on the face down on the ground. They playing with his butt and everything, sir. Like right. It was, I was like, man, it just
that is Greek culture, homosexuality. You know what a mentor and a mentee is? Do you know what that is? A mentor in Greece was a man that. Go ahead, say what is it?
Salaki, so you bringing it out because and it's the mentee and it's also the they called them pages. So and it was heavy about what you're saying is that it was in sports and in the political spectrum
because sports and politics are together.
Khan, sir. So to your point, a mentee he had trained up under an athlete, but the athlete would sleep with him. And in political office, if you was a page, you was trained to become a political personality or whatever like that. You'd be up under like a senator or whatever other title you had, and they be sleeping with the boys.
So you sleeping? So you the mentor? You sleeping with your mentee, and the mentee can't start sleeping with the page or the man under him until he becomes a mentor. That's how that was. That's what mentors were. That's where it comes from. The same thing. All of that. All of this is tied to sexual perversion, to homosexuality, and to sports, entertainment, and politics because it's a diversion to keep you distracted from what's really going on. Just think about the sports world. When you playing sports, what do you say? What is the motto for any sports? Basketball is what, DeWarriala? If you play basketball is what? Ball is what? Ball is life. You see that? I ain't even have to think about it. You play basketball, man, ball is life. Well, what is life really about for us? War. The Lord is a man of war. You stop worrying about the Lord being a man of war when ball is life. So that's a distraction from what life is really about. Sports is really a distraction to stop you from being prepared for the war that's in front of you. You know what the war is? The war is the not doing the drugs, the not killing your brother, not stealing from your brother, not raping your sister, not sleeping with your brother's wife, not doing all of these things that your flesh tells you is okay to do. You fighting against that. That's the war. But your war is, man, we play Sterling this weekend. Your war is the Crips against the Bloods. Your war is, I'm finna go fight this nigga because he talking to my gal. He texting he just, whatever. You see what I'm saying? We got the war spirit, but it's just in the wrong place. Go ahead,
To bring it, Slock, if I may, sir, to bring it back around full circle, what's so heavy is, like you said, with the distraction, everything that the oppressor does is to diminish our numbers. So that's why they gay automatically. So they don't have the numbers we have. So that's why we got Planned Parenthood in our neighborhoods, and why they using every like you said, Crips versus the Bloods to diminish our numbers. All their tactics is to make sure that our numbers in the war are not as strong as they numbers.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Go ahead,
Salaki, sir, just to add to his point, for the brothers that is about that warfare, we gonna direct them against each other, whether it's through and on that large level through the gangs. But for the brothers that's not trying to just do no football, they trying to get busy. Okay, we're gonna put the guns in the neighborhoods and let them take themselves out. But for the brothers that's a little calmer and softer, basketball, football, tennis, all this other nonsense.
Right.
It's heavy.
So you're not worried about fighting for your people. You're not worrying about anything other than what. And then for the brothers that's calmer than that, then you gay. Right. That's it. You either right now in this time, you either aggressive or gay. It ain't even really no middle line no more. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, like it used to be aggressive, then like the bookworms, and then the dude that could be gay but we don't know, and then the ones that's just out the closet. Now, it's either you a jock or you taking it. Go ahead.
That helps me understand my oldest son better because he's not in the truth, basically. And he aggressive.
Right.
So I'm glad he's not gay, but
well, don't worry about him coming to the truth because the world will push him into the truth. The fact that you in the truth, like all his friends are not are fake, and they unloyal, and it's gonna take him to be there for them all of those times, and when he need them, they not be there for him to turn to a brotherhood. And
it's
we just
happening now.
Huh?
It's happening right now.
Yeah, and it's gonna and when he gonna turn around and look at us and we gonna be over here like, what's good? You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because what we have in common is we were all brothers in the world that used to look out for our friends and bend over backwards for our friends, but nobody would ever do that for us. So when we found each other and when we talked and started to get to know each other, we were like, damn, you just like me. Like, that's the same, like, yeah, when I was in the world, man, when my nigga came home, I did this, I did, man, me too. I wrote my nigga, I did this, I did that. But when I went and sat down, I ain't hear from nobody. Nobody called, nobody checked on me, nobody sent me no money. And then when I get out, everybody, hey, what's good, man? You know, we was trying to do this and this. And then you just, especially when you sit down for a little bit, you make your mind up. When I get out, I ain't messing with none of them niggas no more. Like, fresh slate, new set of partners. We starting over because y'all niggas ain't loyal. You know what I'm saying? So the world will put him in a predicament to make him come into the truth. That's what the world did to all of us. And that's how we ended up here. The world pushed us here. So you don't have to worry about that. It's just be glad that you don't have to put the masculinity in him. You know what I mean? The fact that he just automatically got that zeal, that manly spirit, he gonna be all right. He gonna find his way right up in here. Because everything outside of us is gonna look real goofy in a little bit. Most High Christ. Go ahead,
Khan. Verse, you want me to keep reading?
No, I want you to go to 2 Maccabees now.
Okay,
Now I want you to go to 2 Maccabees. We're gonna go to 4 and 7.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 7. But after the death of Seleucus, is it Seleucus?
Yeah, Seleucus.
Seleucus, when Antiochus, called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest.
He labored what?
he labored underhand to be high priest.
You know what? Jason worked with the Greeks so that they can get him in to be high priest. He worked on how did he become high priest? What had to happen?
He was a mentee that basically took Rod.
Right? But what are we talking about right now that they are trying to keep you distracted from? What? Politics. How did he become high priest? He got voted in. They voted him in. Underhand. And they what it say? Underhand to be high priest. Keep reading.
Verse 8. Promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents.
So he promising the king, if you let me be the high priest, I'm going to make sure I get you 300 talents of silver, and when I make that money is going to make 80 talents. Keep reading.
Besides this.
So what is this? What is this he's presenting to the king? Right, but in politics, this is his what? Calvin?
Like his campaign.
This is his policies. This is his campaign. He's saying, look, king, if you get me in under you, I'm gonna get you this much money, and I'm gonna get you this much money, and besides that, keep reading.
Verse 9. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise.
Keep reading.
And for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen.
Training up of who?
Training up the youth in the fashions of the heathen.
Training up the youth in the fashions of the heathen. Keep reading.
Good night. And to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians.
Now this is about to kill you right now. To write them of who?
Of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians.
What is the name of Antiochians? Let me see if you reading in context. Go ahead.
Americans? African Americans?
He said he gonna write them of Jerusalem by the name of the Antiochians. When I tell you, you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm trying to give you a chance." Everybody give up?
You mean like a census?
Everybody give up? No sweat. For time's sake, I'll give it to you. The Texans. The team name. The people in Jerusalem's team name was the Antiochians. What he presented to the king was, if you let me do what I'm trying to do, I'll have this team in Jerusalem. They're going to be called the Antiochians. The king was like, damn, Antiochians. That sounds good to me. Keep reading.
Verse 10. Which when the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to Greekish fashion.
To what?
Greekish fashion.
Now you're going to see why we say neither Jew nor Greek in the New Testament. Because we started to do everything Greekishly. We started to follow Greekish fashions. Keep reading.
Verse 11. And the royal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eopolemus, Eopolemus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law.
Go ahead.
Verse 12.
He brought up what?
New customs against the law.
He is single-handedly trying to destroy our nation. Keep reading.
Verse 12. For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself.
Where's the place of exercise at? In downtown area. In the center of the city, the same place it was in Rome, the same place it was in Africa with the Philistines. It's the same thing. Keep reading.
Come on, Khan. And brought the chief young men under his subjection.
Brought who?
The chief young men.
In the Old Testament, what did we do with the chief young men?
Made them
Just say it.
We made them an army.
Well, we made them what?
Captains.
We made them captains, officers of 1,000, officers of captains of 5,000, all that. That's what we did with our chief young men. But he taking the chief young men and teaching them how to play sports, to play for the Antiochians. Keep reading.
And made them wear a hat.
Made them wear a hat. The hat that he made them wear was called a dunce, D-U-N-C-E. It's the hat. It's like a wizard hat.
Yeah, the dunce cap.
The dunce cap.
Come on.
The dunce cap is the hat that he made them wear.
Damn.
It used to flop over. As time went, it was starched like the KKK. But that hat changed from the dunce cap to the kufi, to the, what's the one the Jewish one wear? The yarmulke. It's the same hat. They covered their head, which is against Hebrew culture, because what are we supposed to do this part of our head? Leave it open. But he made us wear a hat, which is Greek culture, and covering our head. Go ahead.
This is heavy. So like, you know, like when we play cards, like the picture of the Joker, he got the dunce hat on with the Salakia is hanging in front of his face with a bell.
Right.
And then in early on, like in America, like if you got in trouble in school, they'd put you in a corner and put a dunce cap hat on you.
Good night. Keep reading. Go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say about the dunce cap. The dunce cap. It's supposed to be like you a clown. You a fool. You're dumb. Like it's crazy because you know I be on the PS4. It's, on Grand Theft Auto they had this thing where if you doing a lot of bad stuff in the world that they have created, like you killing people, you doing stupid stuff, they'll put you in a whole separate server and you have to have like it's like time out. It's like it's just crazy how and they made us wear this hat. That's what we reading.
Yes.
It's like they really you a fool, you stupid, you dumb.
No, what's even heavier about this is our religious leader made us wear this hat. They didn't make us do it. Jason is the one who's proposing that we wear this hat. One of us. The sellout. Keep reading.
Good night. Verse 13. Now such was the height of Greek fashion.
This is the worst thing that we could do. Keep reading.
And increased the heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest.
That's how the Lord felt about him. He was an ungodly SOB, and he was not a high priest. Because he was not doing what priests do. Keep reading.
Verse 14. That the priest had no courage to serve anymore at the altar.
Now, he making it, okay, now I'm about to piss you off. You ever been in church back when you was in the world, and the basketball game, or the football game, Super Bowl coming on, what they do in church? Go ahead.
Salaki, so they cut out early. They end service early.
They end church early. They had no courage to serve anymore at the altar. They were ready to go. Because what was more important? I got to watch the game. I got to cut the service short. For sports and entertainment. And the politics is the ones that brought it in. The political, everything. This is a full circle that is destroying us. What we should get back to is wanting to serve the Lord and be high priest for him. We should get back to raising up young men and teaching them how to be priests and prophets of the Lord instead of being basketball players and pitchers and quarterbacks. Keep reading.
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise.
That's why they was cutting service short. They was leaving the sacrifices. They was leaving the temple so that they can go and watch the game. Go ahead.
After the game of discus called them forth.
That was the game that they was playing, discus called them forth. That's what you're looking at. The white man is the devil. He's always been the devil. He will always be the devil. And this is the tool he used, sports and entertainment. Anybody got any questions? I'm done with that. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got something else?
Salakia, so there's another precept under that I think need to get read.
Okay, go ahead. Salakia.
Okay, so I'm just going to read 15 and 16, sir. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. Verse 16.
Stop. Not sitting by the honor of their fathers. Not doing what their fathers taught them. Not wanting to be priests. Not want to be raised up in the culture of their father, but in the culture of the white man. Go ahead.
Verse 16. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them. For they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things.
Because they wanted to be like them, they were being destroyed in calamity by their enemies. Because all of this is a plot. All of this is set up for a diversion, like we read earlier. That's what this is about. It's all a diversion to keep you distracted from what's really going on. Go ahead, Art.
Salakia, sir. This scripture, this precept right here, it embodies everything we're going through right now.
Exactly.
I mean, this is heavy. I mean, the LeBron having that meeting, trying to change, and then going back to do sports, trying to go to Obama, to go into the political system, us having this whole thing between Biden and Trump, this Black Lives Matter, having the other nations in the protests, the marching. We are trying to do things according to this government, according to their political system, and they're shooting us in the back 7 times. They're putting their knee on our neck for over 8 minutes. We're being destroyed, and we're trying to run into their arms still.
Because we are not settling by the honor of our fathers.
Tonight.
That's why. Go ahead, Art.
So it's like, if I may, sir, what's so heavy, because it shows how Esau is a cunning hunter. Like, he has a twofold method. Like, not only are you weakening yourself by playing the sports, you distracting other people because they know we want our, like we watch LeBron too. Like, hey,
right.
He is going ham on them. You know,
right.
He is going crazy. Like, it's like we seeing both. He killing both aspects at the same time. Like, he weakening us watching, and he weakening our strong people by having them buck breaking and playing them sports and doing all that homosexual activity.
Just imagine everybody in the NBA at an average is 6'3" and up. Right? That's a league full of soldiers that ain't thinking about no warfare. Everybody on the football field is what? 2-something, 3-something, 4-something, fast, running flats. I'm talking about just record-breaking time with that weight. And nobody is thinking about warfare. They won't even take a knee. Go ahead, Art. While he getting the mic, give me Isaiah 51 and 23. Tap it. There you go.
To show how weak our Warriors is, they had to get permission from the owners. Matter of fact, it was the owners who wrote a statement, which means it was their idea for them to even sit out them games. That wasn't even their ideas. That came from the owners.
Right. Give them a hand. That's absolutely correct. Now give me Isaiah. Who got that scripture?
What was it again, sir?
Isaiah 51 and 23.
Salaki, sir. Isaiah 51 and 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over.
Let me tell you what's happening. When you submit yourself to another culture's culture, when you submit yourself to another nation's ways, you are laying down on the ground and they are walking over you as a mat. That's what you're doing. That's why the Isupk sticks out like a sore thumb. That's why they try to get us. They don't try to give us no publicity because they don't want that type of masculinity to be contagious. They try to push us to the back burner and not show us on no social sites. They shut down our pages. They do all of that because they do not want us to have that kind of masculinity to start making that the new norm. But what they do push is being weak. They put that right on the camera. Being homosexual, being weak under your woman, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, they put that right in the front because that's what they want us to be. And when we follow another nation's ways, they saying to our soul, not being able to take a knee, that's letting you know that they got their soul. The white man is Shang Tsung. He's Shang Tsung in our whole nation. What Shang Tsung say? Your soul is mine. That's what he say. And he's saying that to our entire nation, and we giving it to him. We afraid to take a knee? Yeah, they walking over you. Go ahead, Art.
What's so heavy about that analogy is that Shang Tsung could take on the forms of the souls that he take. So the white man had, just like you said, it's a whole team of Israelites, but they called the Antiochians.
Right.
So they took on our image, but used their name.
Good night. Give them a hand. That's exactly right. He said, bow down that we may go over you. Read that again.
Oh, Salaki, sir. I pulled up out of that precept.
It was Isaiah what?
Isaiah 51 and 23.
Yeah, read that again.
Come on, sir.
'51, 23.
Khan. The book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over.
That's us. We laid our spirit down as the street to everybody that went over. You know who went over us? Every nation walking on us right now. Every nation. I'm done. All right. Anybody got any questions? Hold on. You got questions, sis?
It was the question that you had said earlier about did the white man know that he's ruling and does he know about his end?
Say it in the mic.
Khan, sir. So the question is, does the white man at this time know that he is in rulership according to the Bible, and does he know about his end that is coming?
Anybody got an answer for that?
Oh, and is there a precept to go along with it?
Does anybody know the answer to that?
Sloggy, if I may, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know a precept, sir, but I just wanted to say Khan, he does.
You think he knows?
I think he knows.
Most definitely, he does know. Give him a hand. Give me Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. And this is the precept that you can use. This entire chapter is gold for this topic. I mean, you can read from 1 down to 24. But I'm going to just pull certain scriptures out just to show you how the white man knows his end is near.
What verse, sir?
Start at 1.
Khan. The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Keep reading.
For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart.
This the white man understand that his life is very small, and it's not going to last long. That's what he's explaining. Keep reading.
Sir. Verse 3. Which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air.
Being extinguished. What is that? What do you extinguish? Fires. Which being extinguished, our bodies shall turn into ashes. What does the white man know about his body?
Salaki, that's going to be turned to ash.
He's going to be burned. Keep reading, verse 4.
And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance.
See that? The white man knows that you ain't going to remember him after a while. So he's trying to get all of this out of his system now while he can. Keep going.
And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof.
You see that? He going to be overcome with the beams of the sun. Letting you know? Wait, what does that mean?
Laser beams from the chariots.
He know he's going to get burnt up. That's what he knows. You understand? Keep reading. Hey, you can go one by yourself. Okay, go ahead.
In verse 5, for our time is a very shadow that passes away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed.
Stop. After their end, they know that there is no returning. That's what they know. Go ahead.
It's like, if I may, so I just had a question. It's safe to say the white man don't have reincarnation, right?
No, they've been reincarnating. But after their end, they're not going to reincarnate. When the Lord destroys them, it's over. When the Lord, gets rid of them, it's a wrap. Keep reading, though. It's going to get better.
Sir. So that no man comes again.
Go ahead.
Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth.
He said, let us enjoy the pleasures of this earth, and let us speedily use up everything as we can. Let us hurry up and get through. Let us hurry up and enjoy all the good things of the earth while we can. It's like you want to do everything before you get too old, before your bones start to, you want to be as adventurous as you can before you are too old to do it. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. That's like, that's why they have like bucket lists, and they have the whole, that's why they be tight roping from damn Mount Everest and doing all that stuff, like the crazy, like damn.
Because they know their lives, they know it's over. They know it's in their spirit. Keep reading though. I'm trying to get through the whole chapter if I could, but we just gonna go.
Sir, verse 7. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us.
You see that? Let's fill ourselves. Let's get drunk. Let's turn up. Let's live like it's 1999. We only got one life. That's why they got that YOLO stuff going on, because they know that it's over for them. Keep reading.
Verse 8. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered.
Right.
Verse 9. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness.
Oh, yeah.
Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion and our lot.
What is the tokens that they leave in every place? Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. What is that? Go ahead.
Currency?
Huh?
Currency, sir?
The Royale?
Salaki, sir, if I may, is it like they little monuments and they
They
statues?
statues. And see, you know how they know that they rulership is ending? Because their statues are being torn down.
Right.
That means there are about to be new statues that's about to go up. See, there are people that they reverenced are now being taken down to not be reverenced no more. So that means there are going to be new people that you're about to start reverencing. They're going to be statues of Commander General Yohana and the men that war with him to put this nation on his back to get the brothers and sisters out of hell. They're going to be new monuments. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir, verse 10. Let us
let down. This finna get to that's getting in. Go ahead.
Kanawakan, sir, verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man.
While we got it, while we got our time, while we on top, let us oppress the poor evil man.
The poor righteous man.
The poor man that's doing wrong that deserve to be oppressed.
The poor righteous man.
Read.
Let us not spare the widow,
Mm-hmm.
nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged.
Read.
Verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice.
This is why you'll never get, that's why you never win a case. Because the white man's strength is his law. That's his strength. Keep reading.
Kanawakan. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
You are feeble and you are nothing to the white man. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, verse 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn.
Go ahead.
And he is clean, contrary to our doings.
Look, I'll break down this whole chapter. Read the last verse. Just the last verse, because that's my favorite part of this whole chapter.
Of the chapter?
Yes.
Kanawakan.
Oh, man, there's some good stuff in between there. I'm skipping.
Even the verse that we was
No, I don't want to do it. Just keep going, because I'll break down the whole chapter. Go ahead.
To the last verse?
Just the last verse.
Kanawakan, sir. Verse 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world.
Through envy of who?
Through envy of the devil came death into the world.
Who did we envy in the beginning?
The devil.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, he did though, but that's not how death came into this world.
So we talking about Eve, right?
I am, but break it down.
So basically, that tree was the ways of the other nations, and their ways like the Salaki, I ain't gonna say it, like the brother from yesterday, talking about the stars and all that stuff. So basically, us envying us, the tree of life was the laws that the Lord gave us, right? What our way of understanding His laws. We looked at what the other nations was doing, and we ate from that.
You take it too long. Give me Duoyala. Let me hear what you got. You saying it. You're not wrong.
Salaki, if I may say, the serpent.
The serpent. The serpent was the devil. You know what I'm saying? The serpent was the spirit of the white man. That's what he was. And through envying the devil, death came into this world. What is death? The curses. Through envying the white man, the curses came into this world. Just like through sports, just like through politics and entertainment. All of that is the same thing. Keep reading.
And they that do hold of his side do find it.
And everybody that follows the white man, you're going to find death and the curses and the punishment that the Lord going to bring upon you. That's what's going to happen to you. All right, I'm done with that. Read the rest of that chapter, and if you got a question on it, then bring it back next week. I'll be happy to break it down. Any more questions? Go ahead.
It's a question on YouTube. The brother Mark Israel says, Shalom, brother. Luke 36. Could you break that scripture down?
The chapter?
Good night.
Well, Luke 36.
Brother, you pay your tithes, brother?
Yeah, dude. Ask that brother. Do he pay his tithe? Nah, let's go. Let's look at it. Hey, I know it ain't no Luke 36.
Luke 36. Yeah, that brother might mean. Yeah. Hey, brother, you gotta get.
He must mean right. 3 and 6.
Okay.
Let's try that. Let's see if that's what it means.
Oh wow, he's probably Christian.
He's definitely Christian.
Read that.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 3, verse 6. And all flesh shall see salvation of the power.
Is that what he want broken down? What does that mean? Go ahead.
That we as the Israelites are going to see. Well, I'll keep it simpler. Everybody's going to see Christ deliver the Israelites.
Right. All flesh shall see the salvation. Now, you know what word he missing? What word in that sentence is he not seeing, not looking at? That gives you the answer.
Salvation?
See. All flesh shall see it. Everybody's going to see it. It's going to be all over the world for you to see. It didn't say all flesh shall partake. It didn't say all flesh will receive salvation. It said you're going to see it.
Right.
Just like everybody saw that brother get shot 7 times in the back the other day. All flesh saw George Floyd with a knee on his neck. Everybody see it. What does that mean? It don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing because you see it. Who's going to partake in it is the question. That's what the world want to know. That's what we want to know. That's what the angels want to know. That's what everybody's waiting to see. Who's going to get a crown on their head? And that's what we fighting for. Any more questions?
Facebook right now. I don't really understand this question, but Malaquat, Makwalat says, is there landmarks drum war?
Is there landmark drum war?
Yeah, Khan, I don't really understand the question.
Salakia, I don't even know. I don't know what that is. Tell her to retype it.
I think that's a brother.
It's a brother, Salakia.
Hey, it could be. I don't know honestly if it's. Okay, Makwalat, you need to restructure your question.
If you could.
If you could.
Yeah. Any more questions? Anybody else got any questions?
I could ask that question that I asked last night.
What you got?
For everybody. So the question was, are the meat offerings that were for the holy convocations?
I'm a ask General Muhammad about it.
Okay.
So I can give you the full breakdown because you teach the law class, and I want you to have the full breakdown on it.
Come on, sir. He said, Salakia, I was answered cap questions from realities.
Okay.
Oh, I guess he was answering the question.
He was probably answering the question that I asked.
All right,
okay, no sweat. Anybody got any more questions? I just want to ask y'all a question one time since I got some officers in here. Go to 1 John real quick. 1 John, I think the one I want is 1 and 3. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Man, I had a precept that I was gonna pull on y'all. I was finna play the Christian real quick and see if y'all was gonna be able to defend the faith. Okay, just let me ask y'all a question. I'm a Christian right now for the next 5 minutes. All right? Jesus loves everybody. Christ died for everybody. Right? If you go to Romans chapter 10, verse 9, if you follow me there, brother, Romans chapter 10, verse 9, it says, if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in thy heart that he has raised thee from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Let me tell y'all Israelites something. Jesus loved everybody, and all you got to do is believe in him, and you're going to be saved. Prove me wrong. That's all I need to know. Go ahead, brother in the back. Because I don't know none of y'all names because, my name is Deacon whatever. Deacon Johnson. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 24 says Christ only came for Israel.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm reading in Romans. I need for you to show me in Romans. Show me in the same chapter and cut me in this chapter. Go ahead, brother in the back.
Sir, we just read Romans 10, verse 1.
We'll read it.
Romans 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, I mean that is what he wanted. He did want Israel to be saved, but it said whosoever down there though.
Whosoever?
Mm-hmm. Where's whosoever?
In the same chapter?
Yeah, verse 11. Read verse 11, brother.
For the scripture saith, whosoever believeth on him shall not be saved, shall not be ashamed.
So you see that? Whosoever.
Come.
So if you want to, if what I'm seeing is whosoever that believe, show me differently.
In the same chapter.
In the same chapter. I mean, you can say you can show me wherever you decide to show me, but I'm just saying.
Same chapter.
Anybody online got a scripture that can cut me? Real quiet up in here. Acts 2:21. What that
You
say?
said the same chapter though.
Nah, I said you can find it anywhere. I just asked, I was just trying to see if y'all was gonna cut me in the same chapter or not.
This is the book of Acts chapter 2 verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Verse 22, ye men of Israel. That's all you need right there.
That's the truth. Now let me tell you how to cut him real quick. First of all, he pulled the scripture, but he didn't cut me because he didn't tell me what I need to know to get cut. This is what you let him know. Who is the entire chapter talking to? You didn't say that. You pulled the scripture, but you didn't set me up for the cut. Because if I would have said the entire chapter is talking to everybody, then you would have read verse 1 and it would have said, it's my heart desire and prayer that Israel be saved. So you would have let me know that this chapter is to Israel. So the whosoever can only mean who? Israel. Then you go to Acts 2:21 and say, and whosoever call on the name of the Lord shall be saved, ye men of Israel. Then you cut them like that. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna play the Christian on y'all every week until somebody cut me. With that, we're gonna pass the class over. Hold up, Yeshaya said 10 and 21. Let me see what Yeshaya talking about. But to Israel said, all day long I have stretched forth my hand to the disobedient gainsaying people. I'll take that. Yeshaya. Okay. With that, we're going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Topazar.
These are the security announcements. We are the Isupk, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. Salakia. These are the security announcements. We are the Isupk, start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10% of every penny or increase the Lord gives you. Given to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the memorial blowing of the trumpets, the first day of the 7th month, Thursday, September 17th, 2020, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. And this is the end of the security announcements.
I see you, Michael Dash. I ain't see you on YouTube. Michael Dash was over here cutting me on YouTube. With that, Imagine. So, we're going to turn and face the east. Say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Saba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Hashemayim, Nathanunawa, Lakam, Kal, Wayam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafyanawa, Wala'ah, Sabaya'ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hayashayanawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'Allah, Wahatapa'ara, La'awalamyam, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sir, turn and face the front. Give a courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. How about Shem Yahushua Barakatah? Yazimatah. Sir, face the sisters. Courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. How Shemal Atah by Shem Yahushua. Yazimatah. Dismiss.